Hello, how are you? Hello, world and camera. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So, it is July 2021. COVID restrictions have eased here in Ireland, so when this video eventually comes out, it might seem a little bit weird. As you may know, the videos are like a year behind, so I don't know what state the videos will be in when this comes out. I've been at home for basically the last 6 months making the Japan in a van video series. So the AE86 has kind of just been in limbo. We've done some really small stuff since Christmas. Installed the dash. Like I said before, Brian has kind of been coming out here when I'm not here, and he's just been tipping away on small stuff just when he's had time. So he's done a lot of the loom, which you'll have seen by now. A lot of you asked about that actually, like does stuff actually get done in the shed when people are around? And not really. So everyone kind of comes out here on their own to work, because usually when there's a gang of us here, absolutely nothing happens. Last night we were going to fit all the body panels to the car so then I could drive it around, but instead we just had a barbecue. And the night before we just had a barbecue instead, because we haven't really been able to meet up and get together in like a long time. And right outside where it's extremely bright, Ireland has been experiencing a heat wave. It's like something we get every few years. I know people think Ireland is dark and miserable, and it is a lot of the time. So when we get weather like this, we're kind of guilted into making the most of the weather. So the car has taken the back seat over the last week or two since I finished the Japan videos, and the car has taken a huge back seat because of the Japan series. Shane Walker and his brother called down a couple of weeks ago, and they nicest guys in the whole world. I just have to say it now. They gave me these wings. And all they wanted is my old wings just as a replacement. They didn't really even want anything, but I just felt bad and I offered them my wings because they just said they wanted something spare. Over lockdown, I've been buying loads of brand new parts to make myself feel like there's progress. I bought 4 brand new door hinges. 3 of the hinges were actually in stock where I got them in Japan, and we had to get the other one from Toyota Ireland. I bought all new, brand new, genuine Toyota hardware for the doors, door pins. Just got all the part numbers for that. Bumper, bolts, clips for the boot lid, or sorry, clips for the rear bumper. There's the bumper bolts. Yeah, all from Japan. Maybe a little bit overkill. Look, I don't know. The stuff is still available at the time of making this, so I just made the most of it. I've really started to get carried away with new stuff because, like I said, over Christmas and stuff, Ireland experienced a serious level 5 lockdown, so we were kind of just completely, we couldn't go anywhere, we couldn't do anything, and I couldn't get anyone out to give me a hand working on this, and I wasn't really coming out here, and I used it as a time to make the Japan series. To make myself feel like there was progress, I started just buying some parts. Yes. So I didn't think I'd end up becoming this guy, but Brian obviously rubs off on me. All brand new corner lamps, yeah. Anything that's still available from Toyota, I'm just going to start buying it, because with the price 86s have gone in the last little while, things are really starting to get out of hand. Even in like the time of buying this car, like the cars have gone from maybe 7,000 or 8,000 euro cars to, I mean, one sold the other day for 50 grand Irish euros, which is insane. And even in Japan, to get them in any condition now, it seems like they're 20 grand. 30 grand, it's getting pretty depressing. Like, I mean, one of my favourite things about Japanese cars is it was the era of hot rodding. It was the everyday man's way to have fun with the automobile. And that was what my generation grew up with. And I'm starting to get really bummed out because this stuff is getting really expensive and unattainable. And like, it's going to push a lot of people out of the hobby that, you know, can't afford it. I mean, fuck, I probably wouldn't, I would not be able to afford one today. It's my dream car. So I feel bad for people that love these cars and may never get their hands on one. But even the way I'm building this car, like with all this custom stuff, I can see in a few years people wanting to put them back to OEM because they're worth more money. And I don't know, things are just going to change a bit. Like, my favorite thing about Japanese car culture is customization and modification of all these different brands and parts and putting them together to have your own take on a chassis, like with wheels. And like, that's what I love about Japanese car culture so much. I absolutely adore the aftermarket tuning culture that came with it. Like, you know, it's just this blank canvas. I don't know, I'm rambling, but you know what I mean. And like our shed and all the things that we're interested in, like all these cars are nearly worth 20 grand each now, and it's It's changed so fast in the last 2 years with COVID. I'm going to continue building my dream version of the car, regardless of prices, and maybe, you know, oh man, you should put it back to more OEM because it'll be worth more. I'm building this car for me, and I don't give a shit about how much it's worth. So I've definitely done a bunch of stuff to it that has probably ruined its value, and I do not care because I'm more into, like, you know, when people would express themselves with these cars when they were cheaper, and that's definitely the route I'm going to take with the look. So Brian fetched my TRD wing from up there and he fitted it to the back the other day. Just he started sticking stuff to the car and I'm not around. It's kind of funny. I absolutely adore the TRD wing, and this is definitely the look with the OEM rear bumper. Still not sure what I'm going to do in here. I don't know if I'm going to run the front carpet or if I want to keep it raw. Like, I've always loved the stripped out look with the 86 because the first 86 that I was ever in was Dave's 86 and it was just stripped out. So I'm still figuring out what I'm going to do there. Like I said, again, because the cars are getting more desirable, people are like, oh man, it looks shit without carpet, and you know, you should probably have the full interior. And I do love 86s with a full interior, but I love that raw look of an 86 that's stripped out as well. And again, I don't care about the value and the prices and stuff. I want to build a car that I would love to find on the internet or I would get excited about in Japan. So I think I'm still going to run the no carpet and just run the mats and see how it goes, because that was the original fantasy. The original fantasy was like way more or way less than this. I just. We'll see. Could end up with the front carpet because I have the black, like, late spec carpet, which is delicious. Yeah, the wings are cool. I am probably going to go for the flared look, so the lads gave me these. I've just always loved that, like, millennium style with good line and flared and like little chunky 14-inch wheels. Again, not to maybe people's taste. That's another, like I said, I see people's taste changing with these cars as the value increases, to be less inclined to put their own touch on them. And that's totally fine if you want to make some money down the line, you know, if your game is, you know, a long-term investment. But I'm not really into investing. I'm into cars and I'm into modifying them, and that, like, is what we're all into in this shed. So goofing around with this and changing it and, like, you know, making it lose value by flaring arches and, you know, making it a custom car with all these aftermarket bits. That's why I'm interested in this shit. And the day not allowed to do that anymore is probably the day I will lose interest in this stuff. I am going to run probably the OEM front bumper and lip because I really like it with the cutout front. The Goodline green bonnet or bumper that I got off Rob is probably too cool to even run that thing now. I know a lot of you are going to be like, you're an idiot, run it, but this is the last piece of evidence that that car ever existed. And it's kind of sentimental because I got to drive that car in Japan, and Rob has since painted the car black, and this just green bumper just makes me happy and reminds me of his car. And I feel like if I paint it, I'll just hit a fox or something some night and just smash the living shit out of it. So I'm probably going to buy another one and use that for joking around out in the street. I do apologise for the mega amount of rambling in this video, but I kind of feel like I haven't really made anything on the car, which I really haven't in 6 months. So I'm kind of bringing you up to speed because we're at the kind of final hurdle with the machine. Well, sort of. Like, the next step now is Barry back down, and from watching these now, you've noticed that Barry hasn't been in the video for a year. Again, because of COVID, Barry didn't really want to come down, you know, because he likes smoking his weed and he likes, you know, he just, like, none of us really moved around Ireland because there was checkpoints and all sorts of crap, so the car just sat in limbo. I'm going to probably flare the rear arches to match the back because I like running 8.5J wheels, and yeah, they're definitely out a bit, so just a light flare probably to here. That's the look I'm going for. We kind of built it from the inside out, so, like, everything is done from the inside out almost. Oh yeah, look, more genuine Toyota parts. I've kind of run out of aftermarket parts to buy for the car, so now I'm just replacing all these bits. And I don't need to do it really, but the fact they're still available to buy is just like, why not? Massive shout out to Flo, which we visited last year, Flo.ie. He actually sent me down his reproduction black limited Trueno badge. Unfortunately, I don't have a grille on my standard bumper. It should, like, live here, but that's missing, so we could probably put a mesh there or something. But I've just noticed and realised that it's this time 4 years ago that we bought the car. So we bought it in July 2017, and like, I can't believe it's 4 years. Like, I thought this would be finished in a year, and look how fucking much shit has unraveled with this car. And then between COVID and like the passing of my dad, and you know, all these mad things that just kind of been thrown into the works here. It just go, like, I have so much respect for people that build cars, because even years ago when I was featuring stuff for Juicebox and that, like, you know, I really underestimated like how much people put into like a full nut and bolt restoration build, and it's been just like, it's been absolutely mental, really, when you think about how much time, effort and dedication. And we're still like, you know, it still needs a coat of paint. But for anyone that's ever gone down this road, I've nothing but respect for you. I don't know if I'd do this again in a rush. Maybe I would. I actually quite enjoyed the process. But yeah, we bolted on the Goodline hood. All of you will be well acquainted with this hood now, as it travelled pretty much all the way around Japan with us, which is super funny. It's almost a shame to paint it, but it is getting painted. The wiring is complete, just needs to be tidied up. So the other night we were here, I was here with Brian, and he just put the 2 relays for the fans down here. I don't know if you can really see that, but we're just trying to find a place to stash that stuff. And then there's a little temperature sensor here that kicks in, maybe like 80 degrees, I'm pretty sure. But again, I'd be lost without Brian. 2 12-inch fans. Yeah, we made this bracket then on the back to mount it to the coil. We didn't use the pull-through things because we didn't want to damage the fins, so we just drilled a little holes in here and put these plates across and just chopped them out. But he's joined the loom at the bottom of them, and then they're just going to be tucked in out of the way there. So that's pretty much exactly how the engine bay is going to look loom-wise. I'm probably going to put an oil catch can over here or something, and then the expansion bottle and stuff, probably going to tuck it down out of the way here. I love N2 race cars and I love race engine bays because they're just so minimal, but I still enjoy all the original holes and that, and I think this will look cool. This still has to be painted up, and I have my dream manifold because of Dave, who has retired from 86s down here. But Dave got a Powercraft manifold back in maybe 2006 or 7. It was the first one I'd ever seen, and when I featured his car, it was one of the first features on Juicebox years ago. I was just mesmerised by this manifold, and I've yet to see anything as amazing as it. So I reached out to Jesse Streeter, and massive shout out to Jesse. He got me a pretty amazing deal on this. I just bought it during lockdown, so I haven't taken it out yet. I don't really want to touch it either because I'll probably stain it. But yeah, this has been the dream manifold for as long as I can remember. And I still can't believe I actually own it, because this thing to me was just like an absolute like cream of the crop work of art. And there is other amazing manifolds out there, but there's even really good guys putting stuff together now in Ireland. But I've just always wanted the Powercraft manifold, like for well over 12 years. Like, it's such a long time to lust after a part, and I finally got it. During the lockdown, I had more disposable income because I wasn't traveling to work. I basically gave up drinking. There was no like traveling or doing anything, and you don't realize how much money you save. And I'm one of the lucky ones that managed to keep my job. I know a lot of people have had a really rough year or two, but for some reason, like, people keep buying Japanese parts, and I'm one of them. And I've gotten the last few bits that I've always wanted because the prices are just going crazy, and I'm just sucking it up and eating pretty much fucking breadcrumbs to buy the parts I've always wanted. Some of them are not necessary. So you're probably going to think I'm a fucking lunatic, but I have a bit of a wheel fetish, and if you might have noticed that if you watched the JDM Distro vlogs, but I've acquired a nice collection of wheels over the last while. So yeah, this is where you think I have too much money and I'm a spoiled shitbag, but I assure you I'm not. I didn't have any money like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Like, I watched all my friends build nice cars, and only in the last like 3 years have I managed to get a good paying job and, you know, a secure income. So all these things that I've lusted after for 15 or so years, I've started to buy them. Just another option. I know I have these, the P1s, my all-time, like, my first crush ever, Longchamps. Another wheel on the list. See, this is the dangers of working in a Japanese car import place. And I know I'm trying to justify it here on camera, but I don't care. Look, this is the stuff I like, and I fucking save up for. These are 8.5J -13 Watanabes, and this set was actually on the shelf in work for like the last year and no one would buy them, or this pair. And then the other day, nicely enough, Dave, who owns JDM Distro, he sent us a link for another pair of 8.5J -13, and then I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to buy the whole set. So I got these for a good price. You can see the obsessive personality there, but look, these are dream things, and like, if you know, I don't want to justify it. If you're watching this, you're a car enthusiast and you know I'm a fucking idiot, and we're all in the same boat and we spend loads of money on this stuff and we try to justify it to people, but I'm in a very fortunate position where I can afford these things, or I have over the last few months, so I'm not taking it for granted. This is like dream come true stuff for me. My dream car is an 86, and man, I don't know if I'll ever be able to afford it or someday or whatever, but I didn't actually have anything until I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and I'm 33 years of age now, and it's still not finished. I'm just buying parts like a moron. If you would have told Neil 3 years ago that he would have his dream car and then have his dream wheels and stuff, like, I do have to pinch myself, like, I really do. Like, even just looking at the three of those wheels together is just the best thing ever. Like, and I have the P1s as well, which I've given a loan to Barry for his RWB11 because he's without wheel. T then with the cream on the wings is pretty awesome, just very UEO spec, and I can't believe that this stuff is mine. I get like mega imposter syndrome because I created like a weird dynamic for myself where I've basically been documenting like Irish car culture from the sidelines since like 2006 or 7, and like even with all this stuff I never feel like any of it's mine because I spent so long just living vicariously through my friends and their car, like, you know, stories, that now that it's my story, I still feel like it's somebody else's story. Like all the stuff that I've just shown you, I feel like it's someone else's. I actually don't physically feel like any of this stuff is mine, not even the 86 or anything. I keep feeling like I'm just going to wake up and, like, you know, it's like, oh yeah, this is Flips or Dougie's or fucking anybody else's, any of this stuff. Dream hood that I've wanted since like 2006 or something, or the wheels. Like, they don't feel, none of this stuff feels like it's mine, and I don't know if it ever will. Maybe when the car is finished. Lads, it's mad that you're all on for this journey, and it's, you know, fuck. Hopefully someday, like, you know, this is finished and I will get to appreciate what it is, and hopefully it's as good as I have built it up to be over the years. I'm going to take it for a spin soon now and just get a little glimmer of that. The genuine Toyota door bolts, lad. Right, thankfully my doors are actually in decent shape, so they only need a little bit of metalwork on the very bottom, because all 86 doors like to get crusty at the bottom. But for like doors that were living in a shed, or not in a shed, living in a garden with grass growing up underneath them for a good while, they've actually held up quite well. My door hinges are actually fucking mint. There's no sag in them whatsoever. It's not the nicest sound really though. Cool. There's a bit of gap, and now that would give any auto body panel beater anxiety. I didn't want to catch it in the thing, so I just have it kind of spaced out for a minute. All this effort just for a photograph, and it's on. Right, kind of looks like a car again. Cool. The wings are flapping around the place. So, last summer, or was it the summer before? God, oh look. Bit of dreaded rust where the repairs are. So we live by the sea, it doesn't really take too long for it to start wanting to fucking claim it back. But the wing is flopping around. Just pin it. It's not that exciting. It's the first time I've seen the car with doors on it actually held on their own. Damn it, man, it looks good with the long champs. I'm fucking buzzing. Oh, looks so aggressive with no side skirts. I was tempted to run the side skirts. I'm still debating. I might do an option where we've have a threaded piece of rivet in there, a riv nut. So I have the option of taking on and off the side skirts. I'm very, very into that. Fucking hell, man, this excites me so much. I don't think that's the colour we're going to go back to. I don't want to reveal the colour, but the purple isn't my favourite colour. I like purples, but I know of two people that have purple 86s, and I don't know, this colour is quite dead. It just reminds me of my dad's old Ford Mondeo. It just reminds me of an old depressing 90s Ford, which can be cool, but no. I've done so much with this car, like it's kind of like it's my car now, so it's going to start a new chapter with a new look, and that's the plan for it. Yep, that looks good. I really, really like that silhouette. I like its 50 different shades too. Man, it looks cool. It's definitely going in the right direction. And this is the first time it's actually been outside in one piece since basically the time we shot these photos in 2017. Oh man. I'm definitely freaking out here behind the camera because it looks really cool. It looks really aggressive, and I'm very happy with the direction we're going. Even like that, it looks great. If it just had it looks like a mad missile car. People don't like missiles anymore, but it does look like something you would have seen at a BC or something random years ago. Like, this guy bought this for €50 in a scrapyard, and then he put his nice wheels off his other car and he brought it to Matsuri to fucking smash it off walls.
Yeah, rough and ready.
I'm just staring in awe at the machine, the potential. Jesus, gap is great then. Oh yeah, it's mad. Like, I'd done a couple of laps in it a few months ago in the winter when I had like no panels on it, and it was mental. It's probably in one of the videos, but this is the first time with panels. And I know it looks like a total heap of shit, but through the heap of shit there's some magic. And I'm very fucking excited here. I may not look it, but I am. So I'm gonna do like a lap business park.
And hopefully this spoiler is still on when he comes back.
It's taped on.
Let's see how strong this tape is.
Nice then. Just take the key, lad. Just turn the key. Probably looks kind of cool. I'll be back in a minute.
No.
Speed up. It's funny, where we set it to 0 kilometers, I think the thing is starting to move. I'm not sure though. It's really intimidating. It's just like a fucking really ignorant machine. Yeah, the clocks are
Not-
ticky. So it's not moving, so.
No. Oh well.
Yeah, it's very nice seeing it move. Yes, I don't know what that noise is. Need a windscreen. Yeah, it needs a few other extra bits and bobs. planes. There's no trains, but we have too many automobiles. Right, that's my little mission out to the shed, to bring this outside and look at it and then go home. How exciting. Till next time. Goodbye, everyone. That was perfect.